Hello, world. Welcome back to Let's Empower Wednesday. Man, I just want to leave something with y'all. Blessings, prayers for everybody out there. Hope you just trying to maintain, keep it up. I know it's difficult, but I just want to share some color on something I was listening to something the other week, y'all, and it was something about wasn't what we going through right now. Of course, COVID, the movement for justice and things like that. And just what's been going on within this new decade, right? We started a new decade, 2020. And I had a reflection, and I thought about, it's like, I only went out to probably about to the 90s, early 90s. I was like, I had a reflection, like every decade we start off with something, right? In this nation, we start off with something new, and it really kind of go on to really define part of the foundation what that era was like. So it's one thing I want to start off. When you think back to 1990, right? If some of y'all was born there, if you wasn't, do your history, Google or something like that. But you think about the Rodney King, what happened right there was we had also wars going on, things like that. We had the kickoff of the Iran war, but I know also here in the nation we had the Rodney King murder. I mean, not murder, but beat down. In other words, we had a beat down. It was on TV. It was right there broadcasting. You saw officers kicking, beating a citizen of the United States, right? And unfortunately, they got off, right? And what led to that, you had protests that broke out in LA riots, right? Just really devastated the county, the city, and things like that. And that kind of really started off the 90s and a lot of other things that happened in the 90s. And I want to take it to the 2000s as we were leading up to another decade for the 2000s. All you hear Y2K, people buying water. The machines are going to shut down because they can't. The time on the machine hasn't been really able to really like revert clock back to 0, so to speak. So, and you think about this, and we also had the 9/11. 9/11 where I think everybody will remember where they was at 9/11. Something you'll never forget. It was a heart-pouring, also a disgusting moment, but I think nobody would never forget that. When you think about the 2000 decade, 9/11 come up, and the Y2K, and you think about 2010, the next decade is where we now go about the recovering of the economic recession back in 2008. And also we are also on the palm of a new president, the first African American president, Barack Obama. So those are some things that kind of really started off 2010. And now present day, y'all, 2020, we in a new decade, and it's been right. It's been hell. Let's be honest, which is some of the things you couldn't write this down. What we thought 2020 would be, right? We had many deaths of many astonishing people that we kind of looked upon. I start with that with Kobe Bryant, the Black Mama. Pieces and blessings to his family. We got hit with that. We get hit with, which we still dealing with it, y'all. COVID-19, right? We get hit with COVID that really isolated and kind of shut down half the majority of the world, and we also get hit in within that. It resurfaced because it really never went anywhere. It resurfaced the injustice, inequality, and brutality of what some officers does in the streets. This was caught on camera. It was a murder, but and then riots, protests broke out, and this would be kind of, you think of people, another part of foundation of what created 2020. When you think back, when we reflect on the decade of 2020, you reflect some of those things will go up. All right, so I said all that for what, Josh? Great question. So I want you to ask yourself, to help define what you have experienced in this decade, what is your commitment for the next decade? What is your commitment to finish out this decade? We still got a lot of time, but I want to know what is your commitment. I'm going to start with mine. You know, it's going to continue to be grow myself individual and spiritual. It's going to be a better husband. It's going to be to grow Let's Empower brand. I got a lot of things, build mentoring programs where I can roll out to every school district in the United States. Those are some of my commitments that I am planning on for this decade that I just named 3 of them. You might have 5, 10, 100, whatever. Be careful how many you have, because we know how we are at Human. We'll just throw them out. So make that commitment. What is your commitment through this decade? How would you rewrite this decade for yourself as a person, yourself, who you are? Stick to that commitment. So make that commitment for the next decade. Peace, y'all. See you.